There's a story of my life that I don't often share. Let's forget the highlight reels of IG. It's between the posts and the podcasts. A story of a life in a year where my light went out. And I found myself living a life that belonged to someone else in a room I couldn't recognize. In that moment, I remember wondering and asking if there was just one thing that I could do to have my breath for just a minute. Not complex questions of I needed to get my life back, but just one thing I could do to catch my breath. If this feels like you, this is the episode for you. Stick around. Let's delve into it. Hi, welcome back to another episode. This is the Unfiltered Truths. I'm your host, Sandra. On this podcast, we talk about conversations about when the road ends and we need a map to take us back home. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in listening to, just stick around. And if you're new, remember to be subscribed. Press subscription button, free of charge, by the way. And let's be that your permanent seat in this community. For those of us that have been here long since we began, thank you again for having your ears one more time. And let's enjoy this conversation. So, like I said in the introduction, there's a time in my life where my light went out. And I think I shared in one of the episodes where I hit rock bottom and I found myself on a cold floor. At a distance, there was a noise from the extractor fan that was faulty. I just quite couldn't get up to turn this off. But I remember in that moment, I was in so much pain. I was in so much confusion. I was in so much grief. And I didn't know what to do. Something came into my mind. What do I do? Do I stay here? Another thought, I needed to go through the pain. But it was so intense that I didn't quite feel like I should go through it. But anyway, the only way through that season was getting through that pain onto the next side of the coin. So what happens when you are in such dark times and you don't know what to do? In that moment when I was on the floor, you don't need complex instruction manuals. You need something that gets you off the floor and leads through the motions or whatever it is that you're dealing with. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. Sharing tools that saved me or helped me navigate the dark moments. Not theoretical, but practical things that I do or that I've used in the past and still use to help me navigate the dark times when they do hit. So when you are in a dark moment, you don't need something very hard to use. You need something that you can use within your means, if that makes sense. Something that is quite easy, not complicated to understand. You don't need a lot of energy, not that much faith, but just a flicker of willingness. And my first tool is the permission slip. No one tells us this enough, but permit yourself to be a mess, to be sad, to be anxious in that predefined period for you. That could look like 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever time you feel is comfortable. But the biggest issue when you are on the floor, you feel the pressure to constantly fix your life and be happy. Yet in that moment, you are not quite equipped enough to do that. So yes, it's okay. It's okay for you to be a mess for just one day. It's okay for you to be sad. It's okay for you to feel these feelings without fighting them within that period of time. This only gives your nervous system the most important thing it needed: relief, calmness. Like you relieve, like the pressure is so relieved. And this doesn't mean that you're surrendering. No, you're not surrendering to the pain, but you're surrendering to the fight against the pain, if that makes sense. Like you're giving your nervous system a reprieve from the war. This is a fast tool that you need to use. It's a pocket tool, as I like to call it. The other tool that I use or that I love, that I would point you to, is when you are on the floor and you are lost in grief, in confusion, in pain. You are like someone who's lost in the woods. You have no map to take you back home. So what you need is a guide, something to guide you back home. And that is our tool number 2, the compass. What do I mean by the compass? When you're in that state, you feel like everything in your body hurts. Yeah. So you need to find an area, a part that does not hurt. If I'm to share more into that, I will take you to a story of mine while I was at that phase. So, of course, fast forward, just to explain this point, is I was at the shrink's office, and I remember one time on one of the days she asked if I had anywhere in my body that wasn't painful. I felt like she was asking the most obvious thing because I was in so much pain. And I told her everywhere hurts. She further went ahead to tell me, apart from my chest and my stomach, because I remember I kept on saying, I feel like there's a pit in my stomach, and I felt like there was something on my chest, like it was so heavy. So she was like, aside from your chest and your stomach, what other part on your body do you feel there isn't pain? My response was still the same. I said, none. I feel pain everywhere. So she bluntly asked me, hold your hand and put it on your knee. How do you feel? And she just asked me to focus on my hand that was resting on my knee. So I focused on that and I was like, nothing. I feel normal. So she asked me if my hand was feeling pain. I was like, no. So she was like, if you feel overwhelmed, you're anxious, you're all over the place, look for a part in your body that is neutral, that does not feel pain. Let that be your anchor. Because when you are all over the place, you are not settled. You are everywhere. And that's what anxiety will do to you, because in that moment, you are very anxious. So bringing that into this point, what somatic anchoring does is it just calms your nerves down. So every time you are anxious, overwhelmed, just look for a place in your body that does not feel pain. If that looks like your elbow, it could be a pain of your ear, it could be your small little finger or your small little toe, whatever that part looks like, look for that place and anchor yourself there. That only shows that regardless of whatever is happening, there's so much pain everywhere but there is a safe space for you to be at until when the storm withers. And that's the compass. Like every time you go back to that place, it brings you back home. Yeah. If that makes sense. And then the other tool is a lifeline tool, something that gives you life. Your life is like on the thread, on the edge. So you need something that will just bring back life to you. And that is vulnerable reaching. There is nothing vulnerability will not do. I think throughout this entire series, I want to believe that vulnerability is like at the center of every episode almost. But yes, there's nothing vulnerable reaching won't do for you. So in this case, I remember reaching out to a friend of mine. I hadn't spoken to him actually in a long time. But in that moment, I felt like this was the only safest person I could reach out to and tell my things. I'm a very private person. I don't like sharing. Sometimes even when I do share, like I just share halfway and then I stop. It's not like you are hiding something, but sometimes I feel like I just don't want to be so overly exposed. But in that moment, I reached out and I told them I was going through ABCD. I didn't know what to do, but I didn't ask for advice. I just stated the things the way they were. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And I'm going through ABCD. And this is how I am feeling. I just need someone to hear me, see me, and just listen. And guess what? When I sent the message, I'll never forget, it took about 18 minutes and 20 seconds to respond. And when the response did come, it was like a sigh of relief on my end. He didn't give me advice. Some of you give unsolicited advice. Don't do that, please. He didn't try to fix my problems. He just said, I'm here with you, for you, and and whenever you feel like you need to talk to someone, I'm here. Oh my goodness, you do not know what that did for me. I felt like someone had just opened the gates wider for me to like say out everything that was really disturbing me. And that's exactly what I did. So this tool is very, very important. Of course, you don't want to expose yourself to everyone. And I'm not saying that just go on being vulnerable with whoever, but identify someone in your circles whom you feel has earned the spot of trust, that you can go to them with anything and everything. They won't judge you. They will hold space for you and they will just be in that thing with you. So when I say this tool saved me, I don't want you to get me wrong. They didn't magically take away my problems. Neither did they fix my issues, but rather they gave me hope and a chance to navigate the times that I was in until when I was able to start the healing journey. And as we end this episode, I want you to know that regardless of how broken you feel, you may seem, there is always something small that you can do to just calm down until when a storm withers. Don't forget to use the permission slip, somatic anchoring, and vulnerable reaching. They are not just tools. They are things that will help you a great deal with navigating the dark times. But most importantly, if you feel this episode hit enough for you, give you some hope, give you the permission to move forward, like the video. This shows that the conversation is very important, and we all know and want the rest of our people to get this message and learn from it. Don't forget to share it with a friend. Don't forget to give us those comments. And speaking about comments, tell me what your tools look like. Those that have saved you during your dark moments. I can't wait to hear the different tools. Who knows? I could also learn a thing or two from your tools. Thank you for listening. Until next time, bye. I value the time you've put in to watch this video. Thank you so much from my heart of hearts. If this message resonated with you in one way or the other, please subscribe. The purpose of this podcast is to bring hope, restoration, and resilience. Let's share this video with every one of us that we know is going through something and needs comfort.